Hello and welcome. Today, author R.T. Cagle shares another inspiring story from the Bedtime Stories with Heart and Soul series, written to help you slow down, reflect, and end the day with a little more peace. Now, here's the author.
Hello, my name is author R.T. Cagles. Today's story is called Remembering Essex Junction, so let's get started. The air in Essex Junction was the kind of cool that sticks to the skin and smells of earth, grass, and pine. A quiet New England afternoon in October. Decades had passed since I'd last walked these streets, yet as I stepped off the train, I felt a strange mix of nostalgia and nerves. The bustling little town had grown much more than I'd imagined, and for a moment I hesitated. Could I still recognize anything from my past here? Would the essence of my childhood playground still whisper back to me? The streets were lined with buildings that had changed yet somehow felt the same. Echoes of old structures woven with new facades. I made my way down Main Street, memories bubbling up with every step. As a child, Essex Junction had been my whole world. It was here I'd scraped my knees, found my first friends, and lost myself in endless adventures. My mother used to joke that my hair was wild like the trees I climbed, and my hands were always dirty, caked with soil and mystery. Best of all, I was always accompanied by my loyal dog Tippy, a collie shepherd mix with a heart of gold and always ready to join me for our next adventure. I crossed the street to where I remembered the old ice cream parlor had been. It was gone now, replaced by a sleek new cafe. But I could still feel the essence of it, like a faint shadow in the back of my mind. This place had been magic. A reward station after long days of running through fields and biking along trails. Every trip ended with a scoop of rocky road in a waffle cone, melting faster than I could eat it. Continuing on, I reached the playground on Maple Street. This was the true heart of Essex Junction for me. An unassuming park with creaky swings, a wooden jungle gym, and a tire swing that, to my 8-year-old self, felt like a portal to another universe. Standing there now, I realized that the jungle gym had been replaced by a shiny new play structure, complete with slides, monkey bars, and a vibrant splash of color. The old sandbox was gone, replaced by artificial turf and benches with phone charging stations. I couldn't help but smile. It was different, yes, but the spirit of play was still alive here. As I stood at the edge of the park, memories flooded back. I could see us, the kids from the neighborhood, scattering like squirrels the moment we hit the playground. There was my best friend Gregory, who lived across the street. Todd, the loudmouth with freckles and the best comic book collection in town. Jamie, who could climb faster than anyone. And Peggy, my first childhood crush, whose laugh sounded like wind chimes. We were wild explorers back then, turning each corner of the playground into a new frontier. The jungle gym was our fortress, the swings were catapults, and the tire swing was the gatekeeper to lands beyond. We'd spin each other so fast that it felt like we were flying, shrieking with laughter as we clung to the ropes until dizziness overtook us, and when we tumbled off, breathless and grinning. We'd lie on the grass, tracing clouds, imagining dragons and monsters and worlds unseen. As I walked toward the swing set, a memory drifted back. So vivid it felt like yesterday. It was late summer, maybe my last summer before returning to elementary school, and Todd had dared me to jump from the top of the jungle gym. I remembered the way my heart pounded, fear and excitement blending as I stood on the highest platform. The drop seemed enormous, and Todd's encouragement made it sound like a rite of passage. I jumped, and for a moment I was airborne, suspended in freedom, until I hit the ground with a thud that rattled my bones. My ankle had twisted, but the thrill of the leap outshone the pain. I wore my bruise like a badge, and every time I hobbled past the jungle gym, I felt a strange kind of pride. Today, no kids were on the swings, and the tire swing was still. I gave it a gentle push, watching it sway back and forth, its creaks echoing faintly. This playground had seen generations of laughter, bruises, scraped knees, and dares. I felt lucky to be a part of its history. Leaving the park, I wandered toward the edge of town, where the river cut through fields and forests, snaking past the edges of our playground like a whisper. The river had always felt mysterious, a line between the known and unknown, the safe and the wild. We used to come here on summer days, daring each other to wade into its cold, clear waters. The riverbank was overgrown now, wild grasses and reeds swaying in the breeze. The old tire swing that hung from the tree by the river's edge was long gone, but I could still see it in my mind, spinning in endless circles above the water. One summer, we had built a makeshift raft, lashing together fallen branches with rope borrowed from our parents' garages. My best friend Gregory had called it the Essex Voyager, a craft destined for adventure. We floated it out onto the river one bright afternoon. The five of us cramped together, laughing as the water seeped through the cracks. It barely held together for 20 minutes before it fell apart, dumping us into the water with a splash. We swam back to shore, shivering but triumphant. In those days, failure didn't exist. It was just part of the adventure. I felt a sudden urge to walk down the old trail that led to the riverbank. The ground was soft underfoot, and fallen leaves crunched with each step. The trail was narrower than I remembered, overgrown in places, and the old tree that had marked our secret hideout stood alone, its trunk thicker and twisted with age. Beneath it was the hollowed-out space where we used to stash treasures, pennies, bottle caps, and anything else we deemed precious. I crouched down, brushing away leaves to reveal the small cache. There was nothing left, but I imagined our treasures there. Remnants of our childhood hidden beneath layers of soil. A smile spread across my face. Jamie and Emily had insisted that we bury a time capsule here, full of notes scribbled on scraps of paper, predicting our futures. I remembered writing, in messy cursive, that I'd be an explorer or an astronaut. Did they ever remember that time capsule, or did it fade from their memories? Standing up, I dusted off my jeans and took a deep breath, the scent of pine and damp earth filling my lungs. Essex Junction was more than a place. It was a reminder of simpler times when each day was a new chapter, full of possibility and wonder. Back then, we weren't afraid of failing, getting hurt, or looking silly. Every scrape and bruise was a medal of honor, proof of a day well spent. As I walked back to town, I passed by an old oak tree that once served as our meeting point. It was a silent witness to countless promises, whispered secrets, and big dreams. Today, it stood tall, branches reaching up to the sky just as we once had, our arms outstretched, hoping to touch something beyond our reach. Essex Junction had changed, but it hadn't. The playground might be newer, the riverbank overgrown, and the faces of those who walked the streets unfamiliar, but the spirit of this place, the heart of it, remained. I could see it in the laughing kids, in the way the river curved, in the echo of memories that hung in the air. As I boarded the train that evening, I closed my eyes, feeling the gentle sway of the train as it began to move. And so, I knew that, no matter where life took me, this place would always be a part of me, a world of my own, a sanctuary of innocence and endless adventure, waiting for me to return. Thank you for joining me.
Hello again. As we come to a close, remember to like, subscribe, and follow us so you don't miss a single adventure. Thank you for spending this heartfelt moment with us. Until next time, we hope this story brought you a little peace as the day comes to a close.